I guess I really like doing bingo board challenges. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Eclectic Reads. Today I want to talk about a bingo challenge that I created for autumn. This was definitely inspired by Tiffany's summer book bingo. I wanted to do one for autumn because I had such a great time doing that. I'm making this principally for myself, but I also wanted to let you know about it in case you wanted to participate. There's no giveaway, there's no reward except getting to pat yourself on the back if you get a bingo. I'm just really interested in knowing what you guys end up reading. So this is the autumn reading bingo. I created it on Canva, and I will put a link in the description to the bingo board. You can make a copy of it, and if you want to keep track of your books that way, you can just paste the covers of your books in the different bingo boxes. So I wanted to create a board that was really centered on autumn, which maybe makes this a bit of a challenge because I created it not with any kind of books in mind, and now I'm thinking, I wonder what books I'm going to read for that. So, just as with the summer book bingo challenge, one book for one square. We're not going to double up. Horizontal, vertical, or diagonal bingo. So, there are 12 possible bingos. If you do a bingo and you want to redo that bingo with a different set of books, you can do that as well. There are actually two bingos on here that have nothing to do with magic. So if you don't really want to read any books that are fantasy or have anything paranormal, you don't have to. You can just do those two bingos that are possible without any kind of magic and just keep doing them over and over again with a different set of books. Do you think it's a good idea to primarily read novels? But graphic novels, of course, are fine. I would just, challenge yourself to read books that are probably longer than 200 pages. But some short stories would be fine. Again, there's no giveaway or anything, so you get to do whatever you want. So the hashtag to use is hashtag autumn reading bingo 2025. You can use it either on YouTube or on Instagram. Let me know if you would want a Discord channel for this. I want to include people who are not content creators. Okay, I'm going to go in order horizontally from the very top. So, unless it says on the cover, I am thinking primarily about the content of the book, including these features. So, the first category is fruits, vegetables in season. So, any kind of autumnal fruit or vegetable. Then the next one is fairy tale or myth retelling. The way it's written, it seems like fairy tale or a myth retelling, but what I meant was a fairy tale retelling or a myth retelling. Set during Halloween, that's very self-explanatory. Autumn or winter scene on the cover. So once again, that's just the cover. Holiday, it can be any holiday. It does not have to be Halloween or Thanksgiving or any of those autumnal holidays. It can be any holiday. I know I want to read the Liz Ireland book that's coming out that's supposed to be set in Valentine's Day. Liz Ireland writes these paranormal cozy mysteries set in the North Pole. It's called the Mrs. Claus series, and I've read every book in the series, and there is one coming out in September set during Valentine's Day. Definitely going to be reading that for holiday. Book you were assigned in school. This can be a book that you were assigned and that you would like to reread, or maybe you're going to read it for the first time. Because maybe you didn't actually read the book the first time like you were supposed to. No judgment. I'm an English teacher, but no judgment. I got you. Halloween creatures. Here I really mean any kind of paranormal creatures. They don't have to be ones that we generally associate with Halloween. And I would encourage you to read about these kind of paranormal creatures from around the world as well. School setting. Okay, set in a school, or school is somehow in the book somewhere. Gothic classic, so like Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I have Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen, anything like that. You could also read like Dracula, which I've never read, or Frankenstein. Scary, spooky vibes. Now, this can be as scary or not as you would like. So anything that is like slightly spooky is fine. It doesn't have to be like full-blown Stephen King horror to count. I'm actually thinking of reading It. I have never read It. The only Stephen King I've ever read is Misery, and I'm not usually a horror person, but I do want to read It. Next, we have woodland animals, any kind of animals that live in the woods. It doesn't have to be the focus of the book. It doesn't have to be like Redwall, where all of the creatures are woodland creatures. There could be a deer in your book, and that's fine. This one's very open-ended. Orange, red, yellow, or brown on the cover. That should be pretty easy. Then there's a free space. You don't have to read a book for that. Autumn foods. Now, whereas fruits, vegetables in season, we're focusing on the fruits and vegetables themselves. With autumn foods, I'm thinking about what we make with those fruits and vegetables, as well as, any kind of meats. So stuffing, pumpkin pie, that kind of thing. Farm country, I'm thinking like farm countryside. Children's book. This is probably one, along with the orange, red, yellow, or brown on the cover. This is one of those that's pretty open-ended. Like, it's a children's book. It doesn't have to be a children's book that's related to the autumn. It can just be any kind of children's book. That's fine. Trip or journey. That's pretty self-explanatory. Set in autumn. Also pretty self-explanatory. Nostalgic or cozy. This can be a cozy mystery or cozy fantasy, or it can be a book that made you feel cozy or gives you a sense of nostalgia because you read it as a child, maybe because you couldn't sleep at night and you ended up reading that book over and over again. For me, that would definitely be Beezus and Ramona. Loved that book by Beverly Cleary. I read that book so many times. Warm drink, ciders, coffee, tea, pumpkin spice latte. I don't know if a book has pumpkin spice latte in it, but maybe some contemporaries do. Magical realism. So it can be full-blown magical, or it can have little dashes of magical elements in an otherwise realistic setting. Darkness. This can be literal darkness or figurative darkness, having to do with something that's horrifying. It could be a true crime book. It could be a mystery. Or it could deal with like darkness as an ignorance, like you don't know something and so you're wanting to learn about it. Once again, feel free to make these challenges your own. Festival or market, bones or skeletons. So this can be a book that deals with forensic science in some way, or it can just have a fun skeleton, like Sid the Skeleton in the Family Skeleton series by Lee Perry. Anything having to do with bones, skeletons, things like that. And then finally, nocturnal animals. This would also include diurnal animals, so that is animals that are awake late at night, early in the morning, that kind of thing. If the animal could be awake at night, then it counts. I'm not being super specific about what a nocturnal animal is. I mean, songbirds usually aren't awake at night, so well, probably not a songbird. But I'm reading a book that involves a jaguar, and those animals tend to be awake at night, so that would count. Like I said, there are 2 bingos that do not involve anything to do with magic. So the one that says children's book, trip journey, set in autumn, nostalgic, cozy, and warm drink, as well as the one with the free space, woodland animals, orange, red, yellow, or brown on the cover, free space, autumn foods, and farm country. So if you just want to do those exclusively and just keep reading a different set of books for them, that's fine too. Let me know if you'll be participating. I know it's September 1st, but it was really after finishing this challenge yesterday that I realized that I really wanted to do another one of these. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye now.